everyone, and welcome back to Court Climbs. Today's video is going to be what I'm calling the mock climbing Olympics. Basically what I did is I put together a board of all of my favorite YouTubers, and then I'm going to rate them based on how I think that they would do in the fictional rock climbing Olympics. Now, I am leaving out my favorite rock climbing channel specifically, just because I'm going to be making a video about them at a future date on the channel. If you want to see that, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stick around and see that video. But for today's video, we're only going to focus on channels that are non-rock climbing specific. Because it's kind of like, you know, judging the capabilities of if a fish could ride a bike rather than if a bicyclist could ride a bike. It's just a lot more fun. Plus, this way you guys will get to see some of my favorite YouTubers, and maybe you can go watch their channels and see if you like their content. So it's a win-win-win. Them, me, you. Win-win-win. I'll be leaving all the links to their channel in the description below. So I hope you enjoy, and with that, let's get started. So first up, would be stupid not to include Evan. So Evan is a relatively new addition to my list of YouTube favorites. And let's see, he has American versus British videos where he talks about the differences in culture between the two countries. He also has a travel channel and a bunch of other videos about random different topics. And one of the videos that he has, though, is a fitness transformation video. And this leads me to believe that Evan has some sort of, you know, fitness side to him. I think that he'd be a pretty decent rock climber if he worked at it. So just to give myself a starting point, I'm going to go ahead and put Evan into the silver category. I think that'll be a good starting point. He seems like he likes to try new things. And I've never actually seen him climb in any of his videos, but he'll get a solid silver. Up next is going to be Julie Nolke. Now, Julie, I have been a pretty long time fan of her channel. She's a comedy channel. She used to do like cooking videos and stuff like that, but she shifted almost primarily to just comedy content. And what's really cool about it is a lot of it she actually has written herself, or at least been involved in the script in some role. And I just like the way her brain works, honestly. She's super funny. One of her biggest videos that got super popular was a series where she talked to her future self during the pandemic and basically just showed how the world was just slowly going downhill. Originally, I was gonna give Julie a fairly high rating, honestly. I thought she'd be pretty good. On her Instagram, she's like posting some fitness stuff. I just feel like she likes to stay in fairly decent shape. But before I made this video, I actually reached out in the comments and in people's DMs, I'm that creep that goes in people's DMs, to ask them if they thought that they would be good at rock climbing. And Julie specifically was somebody that commented right back to me, and she commented that she would be, quote, not great at rock climbing. So, you know, I think I'm just gonna play it safe. I trust Julie's judgment, and I feel like climbing is a really mental type of a sport. So I am gonna go ahead and just put Julie in the trials. I was probably gonna give her bronze, but bronze or silver, but not with that mental attitude, Julie. Alright, so up next we have Rose and Rosie. Now, these guys are some of my original OG, like starting off when I was 14. I watched their channel. I've been watching for years. They're an LGBTQ plus YouTube couple, actually, but when I first started watching, they were only engaged. Now they're married, and they just had a baby, a beautiful baby boy named Ziggy. It's like I've known these guys, even though I don't know them in real life. They've been a part of my life for over 10 years now, so congratulations, Rose and Rosie, if you for some reason happen to be watching this. Congratulations on your baby, that is so awesome. Unfortunately, because they just had a baby, I think that they wouldn't do very well in the climbing Olympics. So I am going to have to put them in the nah category. All right, let's see what's next. So next up we have the Sim character from a You're a Wizard Harry video. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen this. It's a super popular video, so if you're a Harry Potter fan like me, you definitely have seen it. But it's basically a Sims video where the Hagrid character keeps telling the Harry character that he's a wizard, and Harry doesn't believe him. It's a pretty inappropriate video. It's more for laughs than anything, but the Harry character in there is spazzing out, and due to that, he just has so much energy. I would have to put him in the silver category. I know that there's probably gonna be a lot of people that are upset that a meme climber is beating them. But you know, man, that's just the way it goes. I feel like he has so much energy, he could practically fly up the wall. I'm putting in the silver category, and I'm not mad about it. Come at me in the comments. Alright, up next. So next up, we have Nate from Channel Makers. Nate has quickly become one of my favorite YouTubers. He is a YouTube tutorial channel, so he teaches you tips on audio, lighting, camera personality, just anything that you can think of to make your YouTube videos better. But he does it in a really, really entertaining way, and it's based on real life factual data and examples that he pulls from YouTube videos himself. So he's a really smart, clever guy. I feel like he's a problem solver. I'm not super sure that he has like a great level of physical fitness, but I do think he would try rock climbing. I think he's good at problem solving, and that could be really helpful at route reading. So I am going to just split the difference, and I'm going to give him a bronze medal. So just right in the middle there. I know bronze sounds kind of low, but it's right in the middle. Nate, I think that you do pretty decent at rock climbing. And who knows, maybe you've been rock climbing before, and if you have, I would love to hear how it went for you down in the comments. All right, moving on. So next up is actually my good friend Hallee Smith. And Hallee is crushing the YouTube game. She makes short, like TikTok type videos about a bunch of different things, but a lot of really funny videos about going to get coffee or going to get ice cream, different videos about going on dates, fitness videos. She's kind of all over just making funny and uplifting content that you can consume really quickly. And so I actually have been rock climbing with Hallee. I have a video on my channel. If you haven't seen it, you can go and watch it. But Hallee actually is a pretty decent rock climber, and she has only been a couple of times. So just because I've seen her actually climb, and she does pretty dang well, especially for being brand new, I'm going to put her in the gold category. So congrats, Hallee, you are our first gold contestant in the mock climbing Olympics. So up next is Max Fosh. Max, I probably out of all these YouTubers am the least unfamiliar with as far as his channel overall, but Max has a video that it is one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life. It has wit, it has humor, it has just crazy logistics, and I just really respect him for it. And that video is where he fakes his way to the top of Fashion Week as a literal nobody, and he just tricks everyone into thinking he's some like fashion diva and actually gets to walk the runway at one of their fashion shows. So it's an amazing video, and I went on his channel since then. I haven't watched many more yet, but I'm very excited because I saw that he has a couple of videos where he's running for mayor. So I have no idea how that turned out, but I do know that I'm very interested to find out. So if you want to find out with me, I'd go to Max's channel and check out some of his videos. I think that Max is really up for like being creative, and he seems essentially fearless when he is like in the thick of things and just making a fool of himself. So Max, I believe in you, dude. I think that you would do half decent at rock climbing, and I'm actually going to give you a silver. I think that I've seen some things on your Instagram that make it look like you're a fairly active person as well. And I saw you're going on tour, so congrats on that. Up next is going to be Daniel Thrasher. Now, we're talking about funny dudes. Daniel Thrasher is one of them. Oh my gosh. He makes primarily music videos, and he's a super, super talented pianist. And he also does like different comedy skits and things. One of my favorite things that he does is that he is sponsored by a company, and during his sponsored promotional thing that he says, he builds balloon animals, which I just think is a really creative twist on doing a sponsorship. So I really like that Daniel's goal is to make your days just a little bit easier, and I know that he's definitely accomplished that for me. He's made a lot of my work days a lot better. So congrats, Daniel, you have met your goal, and I have a good feeling about Daniel. I keep giving everyone silver, but I'm gonna give him silver, and then we'll see on the next one. We'll see. If I keep giving too many people silver, then we'll go back and change it. But yeah, I really believe in Daniel. I think that he seems like an individual that likes staying fairly fit and active, trying new things. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him silver. Now, next up, I am going to be talking about Hallee Spagnola. I get on these obsessions, right, on YouTube, but I don't think I've ever found a channel, besides some of the climbing channels that I'll talk about in my videos down the road, that I have been obsessed with quite as much as Hallee's channel. She makes videos about music, vlog style videos, things where she does just like outrageous, crazy craft projects. Like she covered her bike in fur, and she made her kitchen into like an outdoor yard area. A bunch of other crazy things that honestly I can't even explain. You just have to go to her channel and watch them to see her personality and the way that she creates just absolute masterpieces, honestly. Hallee is also super into fitness. She even has a second fitness channel, and she has some of the best abs that I've ever seen in my life. So just because of that, I feel like I'm going to give Hallee gold in my mock climbing Olympics. I just anticipate that she'd be really good at climbing, and she's definitely not afraid to try anything new. I feel like she has the mental toughness that climbing requires as well. I know that she's talked about things like taking cold showers as a health benefit, and I know that she's fasted for 21 hours, I believe, almost every day for the course of 2 years, which takes a lot of mental discipline. So Hallee, I'm going to give you gold in my mock climbing Olympics, and you're amazing. I am trying to structure my life to be more like yours. All right, so next up, I'm going to be talking about Zimri Mayfield. Zimri's channel is all about graphic design, which for those of you that don't know, that's what I do for my day job. The thing that I love about Zimri is that he doesn't make graphic design boring at all. He is just a fun, unique individual. He has 2 different colored eyes, and he calls his followers Twix bars, like left and right Twix bars. So I don't really know how you can get much more creative than that. I don't put a lot of faith into Zimri's talents as a rock climber. I feel like he's talked about he spends most of his time inside, but he seems like just incredibly dedicated to pursuing design. Like that seems like what he does 24/7. I could be completely off base, but I just don't see him being a super like good physically fit rock climber. I think that I'm going to put him in the bronze category. I think he'll go there, just in the middle, like not super bad, but also not super great. Like I just feel like he's too dedicated to design, if that's a thing. Alayna Joy. Alayna, she is another YouTuber that I've been following for a good while. She makes videos about mental health, sexuality, a bunch of other random topics. If I was going to be rating Alayna on her climbing abilities a year ago, I would probably give her like bronze or silver, like middle to high. But just recently, like in this past year, she has absolutely fallen in love with rock climbing, even though that's not what her channel primarily is about. So because I've seen Alayna climb, she actually just put out a vlog about going climbing outdoors, I'm going to put her in the gold category. So she is the 3rd member of the gold category in the mock climbing Olympics. Congratulations, Alayna. I really enjoy your videos. You have really cute cats, and you are now in gold in my climbing Olympics. So up next, I have Dodie Clark, And Dodie is a musician. I think she started off just playing her ukulele in her room. At least that was like the early days that I saw her. And I actually, a few years ago, went to VidCon. I won a contest for making a video, and I got to go to VidCon in LA, which was an absolute blast, and I saw Dodie perform. And at the time, I wasn't like a huge fan. I didn't really like know anything about her. It wasn't that I disliked her, I just didn't really know anything about her. So after I got to basically sit very front row, she was like feet from me performing, I went on her YouTube channel and I instantly fell in love with her and her music. And yeah, it was like a really cool experience that I got to see her perform live and then become a fan slowly over time once I went and watched her channel. So I don't really think that I've seen Dodie do anything like fitnessy on her channel. That's not to say that she doesn't. I just don't think that I've seen her portray herself as a super like physically fit fitness channel. And I also don't think that I have a feeling she'd be afraid of heights. I'm going to put her in the trials. I love her. I just don't see her as doing super great. You made it to the trials, Dodie, congrats, but you didn't quite make the Olympics. So up next, I have my friend Sophia Garber. So Sophia makes videos about her hiking the Appalachian Trail, which is super cool. It's a lot of dedication. It's so many miles. I don't even know how many miles, thousands of miles. I think it's 2,000 and something miles. And I really have enjoyed her videos. The thing about her Appalachian Trail videos is that she really encompasses all the different emotional aspects of what it means to be on a long through hike like that. I know a lot of hikers show just like the happy parts of it, but she also shows like maybe some of the not so happy parts about it. And I really enjoy how genuine she is. And at the end of the day, how positive she is in the midst of everything. So I asked Sophia if she thought she'd be a good rock climber. She said that she didn't think that she'd be that great. She's done it once and it wasn't the best. But I feel like anyone that hikes the Appalachian Trail, like you're a lot tougher mentally than you really think that you are. I'm gonna give her bronze. I think she'd probably put herself in the trials or the nah category, but I'm gonna believe in you, and Sophia, you get bronze. Deal with it. Next up is Charlie the Unicorn. Yeah, okay, I know, another meme one, but come on, Charlie the Unicorn's like a classic, and I can tell right now, everyone that's younger than me is just gonna click off this video because they have no clue, but Charlie the Unicorn is a staple. He is a fictional cartoon unicorn, and I'm going to put him in the nah category. I feel like Charlie messes around too much. Next, we have Lillian Frances. Lillian Frances is a musician, and the cool part is that she mixes and produces all of her own music. She writes all the lyrics, makes all the background instruments, beats. I don't really have a lot of knowledge about what it takes to mix music together, but it seems like she does a really great job, and she has a lot of different tutorials on how specifically to do it using the software that she uses. She also, the way that I found her channel is she produced one single video about rock climbing, her rock climbing trip to Joshua Tree. And then when I reached out to her to use some of my music, or some of her music in my videos, she was like, sure. And she also sent me a few pictures of her climbing at Yosemite, which is pretty hard to climb at. So I am going to go ahead and put her in the gold category. Yeah, I'm giving her gold up with Hallee, Allie, and Alayna. Hallee, Allie, Alayna, Lillian. Because I've seen her climb, even though that's not what her channel primarily focuses on. And I love, love, love her music. If you want good music, you should go check out Lillian Frances. Last, but certainly not least, is someone with a really cool name, Courtney Miller from Smosh. Now, Courtney is a member of the Smosh YouTube channel. My favorite videos of theirs are these ones where they're called Try Not to Laugh, and basically they have someone from their cast sit in the middle, and everyone else comes out and puts on like little skits and things and tries to make them laugh. And if they do, then they lose. If they don't, obviously they win. Courtney is like one of my favorite characters on there, or favorite performers, I guess. And she also, on her Instagram, shows her like working out fairly regularly. That's a really hard word to say. But I don't know if she would mentally be there. I'm gonna give her bronze. I'm gonna give Courtney bronze, I think. I also just know she's like super duper busy. But yeah, so I think overall, I'm pretty happy with my ratings. Let's see. I got 4 in the gold, 4 in the silver, 4 in the bronze, 2 trials, and 2 nah. I think I'm looking here and I think I'm pretty satisfied. If any of you guys have any opinions on how you think these YouTubers would do in the mock climbing Olympics, I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you think that I messed up on anything, I would also love to hear that. Or if you think that I was like spot on, like, yeah, good job, would love to hear in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay hyped.